On behalf of the Montgomery County Election Board, Voter Services, and all the residents of Montgomery County, I'd like to thank you for serving as a poll worker in this unprecedented primary election. The global COVID pandemic has changed so much for all of us, and the election process is no exception. We know these changes are challenging for you as poll workers and also for our voters. However, we are committed to providing you with the needed information and resources to ensure a safe and fair election. Your health and safety is of the utmost importance to us. We have encouraged mail-in voting to reduce the number of voters at our polling locations. We moved our polling locations out of higher-risk facilities such as senior living centers and into schools, which have been vacant for some time before the election and will be for some time after. Your precinct, while located in the same location or room as other precincts, will still operate independently on Election Day. You will still have your own table for voters to sign into the poll book and receive their ballot. Your precinct will have its own ballot marking device and scanner. We will be providing all poll workers with protective equipment, including masks, face shields, gloves, hand sanitizers, and wipes. We will be practicing social distancing, providing you with tape measures and tape to ensure there are 6-foot markings on the floor around all areas. We will be asking you to help keep the areas safe by regularly wiping down touch surfaces in your precinct area. We will provide you with a detailed safety plan for Election Day that will be available online before the election and also a copy provided in your Judge of Elections box. We strongly encourage each of you to view the safety plan prior to Election Day and adhere to all the recommendations. By following these recommendations, we will significantly minimize any risk of illness. We will also be providing messaging for all our voters. We will emphasize mask use and social distancing and ask them to adhere to all the rules and requests of the Judge of Election when it comes to the procedure in the polling location. While we cannot be together for training today, we appreciate you taking the time to watch this video as we review the poll opening and closing procedures and also highlight one of the most significant improvements of our voting system process, the setup of the ballot marking device. The new cart holding the ballot marking device will make setting up and closing the polls significantly easier for poll workers. This improvement was made based upon your feedback, and we're happy to have it in place for the primary election.
Okay, so this is the new black voting case that we are using. This houses the touchscreen device that's used for ADA purposes or anyone else who would like to use it. On it you will see a few different seals. These will have to come intact in the morning. If they are not, you have to call our office and let us know, and we will guide you on how to proceed. But to start in the morning, you will break whatever seals are on here. So you just keep twisting until it breaks, and then you can take it off. This one I had a seal in the front and a seal on the top. Yours might have more seals, but it will at least be a seal on the top and a seal on the side. At that point, you're going to undo the latch. There's a latch on each side. You undo the latch. You'll flip the top up, and then on here, you're going to look up. There's going to be latches here. You need to undo the latch, and a privacy panel is going to come down, and you'll see grooves on the side here. You need to fit it into the top metal piece. There's 2 metal pieces on the side. You fit it into the top one. You're going to also undo a latch for the second panel. Bring that down. Just be careful it doesn't touch the screen of the device. And you're going to fit it in there. So your device should look like this. So if someone's looking from the side, they won't see a voter who's using the touchscreen. On Election Day, you'll want to position this so that a voter's back will be facing the wall so no one can walk behind them and see their vote. But for these purposes, I will leave it facing so everyone can see it. There are latches on the front. You're going to undo those latches. And then you're going to open up the front compartment and then this will click on the side. There's a magnet, so the door will stay open. And this door will stay open all day for voters. You'll see in here we have the backup battery and the printer. So at this point, we can pull the touchscreen up. And then once you pull it up, there is a stand in the back. So you'll want to pull the stand out and stand the touchscreen up. And then there is a power cord on the back of the case. So you'll just unwrap the power cord. And then you'll plug this into the wall outlet that you'll be using throughout the day. So once you plug the outlet into the wall, everything should turn on automatically. So right now I can see my backup battery turned on, but if it doesn't turn on, the power switch is on the side of the touchscreen. So you'll just want to reach in and press the power button on there to turn it on. Then you'll just press the power button on the front of the printer. And then the device is going to boot up. And currently that's it for setting up the device. If you were a poll worker in the past, you'll know we have the ATI device and the headphones. Those are already plugged into the machine, and those should be resting behind the machine. And then if any voter needs to use them throughout the day, you'll activate them and pull them out for that voter to use. So right now we have the device set up. Now it's time to go start it up for the day and activate it. Okay, so now we have the touchscreen set up for the day. As I said, you're going to position this so a voter who's using its back will be facing the wall, but for our purposes I'll have it facing this way. So you will have the poll worker key in your key bag, so you'll want to take that out. You'll also have an index card that has codes on it that you'll need throughout the day, so you'll take that out for purposes of starting this up. So just hit OK there. So when you're ready to open the polls for the day, you take your poll worker card, you'll insert it into the yellow slot here, you'll punch in the code that is on your card, and then that will take you to the poll administration menu. You'll see right now we have no ballots that have been printed here. It says 0 on the public counter. And then under settings, AVS controller and manual session activation are both checked off. You'll just want to confirm that. So we look good. That should automatically happen, but just please confirm. Under tabulators, you'll want to select the tabulator of the precinct you're working in. If you don't know what precinct you're working in, it will also be printed on a label at the top of the machine. You just want to make sure you're selecting the right tabulator name. And then once you've confirmed this is all correct, you'll press Open Poll. It will say, are you sure you want to open the poll? You'll hit yes. Then at that point, the poll is open. So you'll take your poll worker card. The machine operator who is operating the machine will hold on to this because you will need this to activate this for every voter who uses the device throughout the day. So if a voter comes in, what you're going to do, the machine operator will take the card, insert the card into the yellow slot. On the screen here, this is where you punched the code in earlier. You're not going to use this screen. Up at the top here, there's a tab that says Activate Ballot. You're going to press that, and then you're going to punch the code in that's on your card for the ballot. So it should be the precinct number that you're working in plus an R or a D for the Republican or Democratic ballot. So you'll punch the code in, and then if we have a voter who needs to use the ATI device or the headphones to hear the ballot and use that to walk through the ballot, you'll just press this Enable AVS controller here. As long as that's checked, they will hear the ballot through the headphones and they'll be able to use the touch device to vote the ballot. For right now, I'm going to turn that off. So once you press the code in, you just press Activate. The poll worker will remove the card and the poll worker will hold on to this. Now this is active for a voter to use. So they will go through and vote the ballot. They can vote every race if they want. If they don't, they can skip a race and move on. At the end, they'll get to review. They'll be able to page through and review that it made the selections they would like. Also, if they're having any trouble with seeing the ballot, there's a text size button at the top here that they can make it larger. You can change the contrast of the ballot. This is all at the top of the screen, so a voter would be able to do this themselves. And then once they've confirmed that the selections are what they'd like, they'll press the print ballot. It will say, are you sure you want to print your ballot? Yes, print your ballot. And then the ballot will print out on the printer that's underneath the machine. They'll get their ballot and they'll take this over and feed it into the ballot scanner that we have set up. All right, so now we move on. We have the ballot scanner. So it will be set up the same way as it was in previous selections now. So you're going to have a few different seals on here. You're definitely going to have a seal on the side door. You're going to have a seal on the top. So in the morning, you'll want to come in. You're going to want to get this to the position, and then you will break the seals on it by just twisting and then pulling. And then same back here. Just break the seals. Okay. So now you will have a key that also came in the key bag where we have our codes and the poll worker card. Everything's in that key bag. So you'll take your key. You're going to want to unlock the top cover. There's a lock on either side. You'll just unlock it. Then remove the cover off the ballot scanner. Also, election morning, you're going to unlock the side door where you just broke that other seal. And then election morning, this is where you're going to take out all of your election day ballots for the day. You're going to pull them out of there as well as other supplies. So after you take everything out of here, you're going to want to make sure there's no ballots just sitting in here. Nothing should be in the bottom or in the write-in bin. So you want to check both of those. And then you will pull the door shut, lock it in place, and then you're going to put another green seal here that you're going to leave on throughout the day so that no one can tamper with it. So at that point, now, it's time to plug this in. There's a gray flap on the back here. You're going to open that up. You're going to pull the cord out. You're going to bring this over and plug it into the wall. And then this device is going to boot up automatically. It takes a few minutes. It runs through a few procedures just to make sure all of the election data on there is correct. So we have a minute while this boots up. You're also going to position this device so that when a voter comes to use it to scan their ballot, you want the voter's back to be facing the wall. So you'll put it somewhat like this, and then you'll have a line form on the other side, keeping their distance. We want to treat it kind of like an ATM, how you know when someone's too close. So you'll start the line back a little bit, and then when a voter's ready to scan their ballot, they'll come around this side with their ballot. Their ballot will be in the secrecy folder. They'll put their folder here, and they'll scan their ballot in. But you want it so no one can see what the voter is doing on this side. So they should stay back a little bit. All right. So now this is booting up. In a few seconds, you're going to hear some beeping going on. That means that it's ready for you to turn it on. So right now it says election firmware being loaded. Also, once you get it into position, you're going to want to click the wheels into place just so it's not moving throughout the day. So it's beeping right now. You have your black security key. This will be in your key pouch. You place it right on the metal dot here. Don't worry, you're not going to do it perfectly the first time. It will say it's not reading it. It will read it. You just have to get it on there perfect. You'll punch the code in that is on your card. That's on the index card in the key pouch. That's the code you use for all these machines. You're going to punch it in, press enter. So now it's going to go through more of the boot process. So it determined that we have the correct key, so we have the authority to turn this machine on. So right now it's verifying that our security key was correct. It's looking at all of the election data that we have on the cartridges. Just a reminder, the cartridges here are right on the front of the machine. You will have seals on here. So one says administrator, one says poll worker. So you're going to leave these sealed all day. It's not until the end of the day that you're going to break those seals and pull the cartridge out, because that's what comes back to us election night. So right now it's asking if we have the correct time. If the time is correct, you'll hit yes. If it's not, you'll hit no, and it will have you modify it. Right now, our time is correct. I will hit yes. Says the election files are verified. It's going through one more checklist. All right, so now we're at the administrative menu. I get the option right here. It asks if I want to open the poll or if I want to power down or cancel. Right now we're in the morning, so we want to open the poll. So you'll hit the button that says open polls. It's going to ask you again for your code. This is the code that's on the index card. So you're going to punch your code in, press enter, poll being opened. And then you're going to get a copy of the zero tape. So when the zero tape comes out, you want to gently pull up a little and then just rip straight across. Please do not take the tape and just yank it, because it's going to knock out the metal casing in here that holds this into place, and then we have a problem. So you're going to take the zero tape, you're going to post this on the wall just so anyone can confirm that there were no votes on this in the morning. It's asking me if I want to print more copies. I don't believe that will show up for you. I will hit no. So now the system is ready. It is ready for voters. So you're going to have this position, and now it's ready for once a voter votes, they will come over and feed their ballot in. Okay, so now we've been open for 13 hours. It's time to close the poll on the ballot scanner. So you're going to take the same key that you used to open up in the morning. You're going to place it right on the security key part, and then it brings up the administrative menu. There's a button here that says close poll. You're going to press that button. It asks for the password to close the poll. You're going to use the same password that's been on your card all day. You're going to press enter. It says, are you certain you wish to close the poll? Remember, you can only do this after 8 p.m. and once all the voters who were in line at 8 p.m. cast their vote. So once you're sure you're at that point, are you certain you wish to close the poll? Yes. You're going to hit yes. Poll is being closed. Then automatically, the machine is going to print 3 copies of your return tape. So this is the tape that will have all your vote totals from throughout the day. Yours is automatically going to print 3 copies. 1 copy goes on the door of the building where the poll is, so anyone can see it. 1 copy goes in the envelope for the minority inspector to take, and 1 copy comes back to us election night. Once again, you're going to rip or pull up gently and then rip straight across. So at this point, the polls are closed. You have your results tape. You're back at the administrative menu. You can just press the power down button. Are you certain you wish to shut down the tabulator? Yes. And then a change for this election is going to be at the polls, the poll workers will not be scanning the absentee ballots anymore. That was a process that used to happen. We will now be scanning the absentee ballots and the mail-in ballots centrally at our office. So you don't have to worry about that. You are only scanning the election day ballots on this machine. So then at the end of the day, remember this will all be highlighted also in your PowerPoint and your step-by-step. You'll open the side door where all the ballots are housed throughout the day. You'll have to break the seal that's on there. You'll open this up. You'll take out all the ballots that were voted, and you'll have to put these neatly, and you'll put these in the blue bag, the blue return bag. You'll also, remember, have to reach into the write-in bin and pull out any write-in votes that were in there. And then once you confirm everything is out of here, you'll put in any equipment that came in there. You'll lock this back up. You'll seal it back up. You'll, remember, have to go unplug the machine. Bring it back to the gray flap in the back. You'll wrap the cord back up. Get the cord in here, right? Close the flap. So then also remember, once the machine is powered down, that's the only time you can remove the cartridges from the front. You cannot remove them as the machine is on. So once you're completely powered down, you'll break the seal right here on the poll worker side. You'll open up the poll worker slot here on the front. You'll press this button, remove the cartridge. This goes in the yellow media pouch that comes back to us election night. So it's very important. You cannot leave the cartridges in the machine. One cartridge stays in the machine. This side will stay sealed. The poll worker cartridge comes out into the yellow media pouch that's see-through on one side, and that's what gets turned in at the satellite location to come back to us. It's one of the most important parts of this, because if you leave this in, we are waking you up in the middle of the night and we're breaking into a building. So we don't want to do that. So please remove this and return this to us election night. All right? So we got everything sealed up and locked on here. You're just going to take the top, put it back on. You're going to take your key, lock both sides. All right, this is the ballot scanner. Ballot scanner is all closed up for the night. So now we're at the end of the day for the ballot marking device. So once you confirm that all the voters who wanted to vote and were there timely have voted, we're going to shut this down. So first, at the bottom here, you'll see the total ballots cast number. You're going to want to record that number on your return of votes cast sheet. So we want to make sure we capture that number. Once we're ready to shut down, you take your poll worker card. You'll insert it into here. On the login screen, you're going to punch in the code that is on your index card to get to the administrative menu. You're going to click Login. So we're back at the administrative menu that you were on when you opened the poll in the morning. You're going to want to hit the Close Poll button. It's going to say, are you sure you want to close the poll? You're going to hit Yes. So right now, the polls are closed. And now we just press the Power Off button at the bottom here. Are you sure you want to power off the device? Yes. And remember, on this machine, the only number we had to record is the total ballots cast. This is not tabulating any votes. You're not going to get a printout. This is purely a ballot marking device, because if you remember, any ballot that is marked using this still gets fed into the scanner. So all the votes are housed on the scanner. This simply helps people with marking some ballots. So we're shut down at this point. This will shut off. You can press the power button on the printer just to turn that off. So then you're going to lean the touchscreen up. You're going to put down the kickstand in the back that we put up earlier, and then just lean it back down so that this is laying flat. And then Now, we take the privacy panels that you put down in the morning. You got to pull it up just a little bit. You're going to put it up here, and then remember, there's the latch up there. So you got to just secure the latch. You'll do the same with the other side. And then just put the top down. You're going to close this back up. Press that in. You're going to latch the front here. There's 2 latches. You're going to want to follow your step-by-step instructions as well for any seals that you're supposed to put back on here. You're going to latch the top. Then you unplug the power from the wall. And you wrap the power cord up. You wrap the power cord up on the back here. And that is it.